It's no real surprise that given the increasing international prominence of really most of Thailand's most popular tourist resorts, that you might just run into pretty much anybody here. I mean, Jacky Chan. The fact that Louis Tussauds waxworks have also opened up here in Pattaya means that you really will see just about anybody who's become famous in the news in recent years. Now, there's a fellow here you'll probably recognize. Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Finding the way in through characters, costume, and on occasions quite real, is of course a taste of the very entertaining experience to come here at Louis Tussauds. Now, Cat Lady has prowled her way along these corridors before, and she's on first-name terms with some of the towering greats. Meanwhile, the doorman you must surely recognize.
When you arrive here at this amazing wax museum, hand your ticket to this gentleman, will you? They feel he's probably the oldest ticket collector in the world. But, of course, in Pattaya, he'd be known as Handsome Man. Hey, what a wonderland this is. This is a very Thai setting for an international group of artists and famous politicians too. I like the fact that Tata Young has kindly lent one of her favourite, well, it's almost a dress, and it looks fabulous on her, doesn't it? Now, I've heard that the President of the United States is here in Pattaya. In fact, I'll just check that. Excuse me. A man of few words. Oh, you're Eddie Murphy. Sorry, Eddie. Now, the President of the United States, I'll know him when I see him. Probably over here. Actually, just while we're looking for the President of the United States, take a moment out to look at this top model from the Asian area, Lucaid. I'm sure you recognized her. She too is wearing remarkably little, and she's had a great deal of success with it.
One couple, famous for their sense of style, look on in despair at this fashion catastrophe.
Oh, David. Excuse me, David. David, how do you do? Rod. I just want to mention that your beautiful wife is looking a little slim. But beautiful, of course. Victoria. Victoria, how do you do? Hello. Are you spending more time in Thailand these years? Are you likely to be spending more time in Thailand? David? I'm glad that the millions are coming along so well. Your outfit is truly metrosexual. Congratulations.
Actually, Beckham's smooth appearance is a forerunner of other renowned sports stars and medal winners. Thailand's heroes of the square ring are celebrated for their boxing skills and achievements internationally, especially Kaosai Galaxy, poised for a KO. The more recent popularity of tennis and the world-class ranking of Kun Ball is also a crowd pleaser, while Tiger is there too, contemplating a rough patch in his brilliant career. Then the most daring of men, strong in mind and body, the remarkable Bruce Lee. He also performs a feat of power right before your eyes. We lighten up a little in the company of some of the greatest of showbiz performers, people who have thrilled and inspired audiences with a mix of dance tunes and love songs. And then to top it off, the social commentary of Asia's godfather, Carabao. Star figures of our life and times are memorably present, with an aura of mystery sometimes surrounding some of the folk who became known to all. Especially as time took a turn from one century to the next, and an English rose was laid to rest, her sons retaining her charisma. And now here we are in a most interesting room, a beautiful oval-shaped room with Roman columns and a number of the most famous figures that the world has known in the last 100 years or so. Mahatma Gandhi at the very center of it all. And I see that Mother Teresa is also in a familiar pose in another corner. Chairman Mao, hand raised just here. Lee Kuan Yew.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama over there, Mr. Putin I see, a number of others there, and the man we set out to find in the first place, the President of the United States, Mr. Obama, beaming at us in a wonderful likeness here at Louis Tussauds in Pattaya.
This is certainly the room that will remind you most of leaders past and present, the history they helped to shape, and the personal mantras that guided them. The horror den is not for everyone, but there is a way out. And eventually, past sinister figures that had been the stuff of nightmares for generations of readers and viewers. Cinematic creations, ones that provide the scary moments, moments that some people thrill to in their darkest experiences.
As the tour goes on, you notice, of course, that the reality or the representation of reality gives way to utter make-believe. The movies, the horror movies, the reality movies, until you reach a point where you're not terribly sure quite where you stand. Or are placed, as is Tony Jaa there in Ombak. Fantastic movie, brilliant Thai actor, of course. The main thing is when you do leave Louis Tussauds here in Pattaya, as long as you feel that you're a reasonable representation of yourself, you'll have done okay.
The Louis Tussauds Wax Museum at Royal Garden Plaza, Pattaya, will certainly leave you with the happy feeling of having come to know some of the greats of our time. And they're all here in Pattaya.